evidence that God is real and is with us in the everyday life and the struggles. So, I'm gonna start right away. This was a couple of weeks ago. I was going to bed. It was like 12 a.m. and I went to check what's up before going to bed. And yes, that was a bad choice. Just wanted to check it before taking a break from it. Anyway, I had got a message that revealed to me that I had failed in gift buying, and we basically wasted about 100 euros, and mostly it wasn't even just our money, and in every way it was just an honest mistake. And it felt ridiculous to overreact to this case, but I knew I needed to let myself cry. I already had a hard time before that, so that was probably one reason. And I knew this is not about this failure, but this is something deeper that's going on right now. So I had this long, ugly, crying moment. It was surprising. Well, the thing is, I really thought the gift was led by the Holy Spirit. And I thought maybe it does lead me after all, because I had been doubting that. And I thought it was the best idea ever. I felt so confident that they would love it. It didn't seem like a coincidence that I found it, the gift. It really felt like the Holy Spirit. Well, that's a long story. Well, I didn't hear him. It wasn't the Holy Spirit. Many times I feel left out on this kind of stuff. Like I'm unable to hear God, or He's just not leading me. Especially like in the practical things, you know, on what to do, what not to do, you know. I don't see Him working through me many times, which is probably true to some measure when I'm like stuck trying in the flesh. But I really want Him to use my life, and I feel sadness, so much sadness of what I'm not seeing. I don't feel worthy of Him. I'm trying, but I feel like I keep failing. Well, this channel though is a little bit different. Mostly I mean everyday encounters, especially with like non-believers. I have good moments too, but I just long for this more clear supernatural guidance, you know, and God working more supernaturally. Anyway, finally I'm like, okay God, you are not scolding me for this, but I know you are gentle and you're loving me here. So, do you have any comfort for me right now? Then go to the Bible app, like I many times do, looking at the Bible verse of the day, and it's this Psalm 34. because even before this, earlier today I felt bad about myself for not making a difference more, etc. Some old patterns mixed with tiredness and not letting myself rest. But now my heart is wide open. I can see pink northern lights. I have never seen pink northern lights in my life, and I've been watching them since I was, well, very young. And I've lived in a place that is even more north of Finland, where you can see easier northern lights, where you can see them easier and more often. Here you can see a picture of what I saw. It's not the best picture because my hand was shaking a little and so on, but they were so beautiful and clear. Usually, if you have pink, you can only see it like after taking a picture, but I could see it with my eyes. So, my crying turned into sobbing for how merciful God is. This was a gift for me, and this is what the Bible verse meant. I get to taste and see that the Lord is good. I needed to taste and see. I needed to experience Him, because I had so much good information even during the previous days. So many amazing truths, but somehow I was still just feeling dull. I had like answers to every problem, but I just couldn't see it with the eyes of my heart. These freeing, amazing truths, but I was stuck in my head, and that just caused dullness. I wasn't able to experience the beauty and wonder of God's heart through the northern lights and the stars and the swan noises that I was also able to hear at the same time. I wasn't able to really enjoy this before my heart was torn open. I was empty before. Well, usually when I see something amazing like this, my first intuition is to share it with everyone. I get so excited, but this is like an obsession almost that I've had, and I felt like the Lord led me to take a break from this. So that week I decided not to share anything with others, but just enjoying them for myself in that moment. So it was quite fitting that I saw this. After making this decision, well, that's a long story too, and I'm not getting into that detail now. But I decided not to even wake up my husband, who had seen the other northern lights previously. I just knew this is an intimate gift from God to me, and I needed to have this moment with Him. It was ever seen, like live. Not counting YouTube, of course. And yeah, I was just sobbing with my window open. All the neighbors could probably hear it. I know this was God. This is who He is. This is how He speaks to me. Nature has always been something that He has spoken through so many times. And Northern Lights also, especially. And there was no one else around. I saw no one watching these Northern Lights. And the Northern Lights stopped almost right after my crying stopped. This was like the grand final. The grand final. And right after this, the clouds came. And the show ended. This is the beautiful grace of God. Yeah, it's literally beautiful. What I learned is that it's okay if I mess up, because He will turn it around. It's for His glory. Just like the water to wine story where people had basically probably messed up, not having enough wine for the wedding, but then Jesus turned it around and it was for His glory. This experience was worth way more than €100. I needed to go. I needed to get to the root of the issue by failing. Did I mention before that the fear of failure is one of my biggest problems right now? So, that was the Lord's kindness. I'm worth it. I don't have to make a difference to feel good about myself. He chose me. He loves me. He wants me. And of course, this is true for you as well. Okay, so now some afterthoughts. We messed up. Jesus came to make it right by giving us new wine. The purification water in the water to wine story served maybe as a picture of the old covenant way of purification. But then Jesus turned that into this new wine, which is better than the old, and was kept until that point for a long time. The new covenant. This new wine that cleanses us for good, but also gives us joy, freedom, and intimacy with God. Wine is a picture of the blood of Christ and the Holy Spirit given to us. Also, Song of Songs says His love is better than wine.